Hello, dear listeners. Welcome to Active English Lab. I'm Lily.
And I'm John. We have a really exciting topic today.
Absolutely, John. Last week, one of my students told me, I'm dreaming in English now. At first, I thought she was joking, but then I realized she had actually switched her brain to thinking in English.
That's fascinating. How did that happen, Lily?
That's exactly what we're going to discuss today. We'll teach you the scientific ways to force your brain to think in English. And I can tell you, the third method is particularly surprising.
Let me tell our listeners, today we'll share 7 practical methods, and when you apply these, your life can truly change.
Yes, if you're still thinking in your native language and then trying to translate to English, this podcast is perfect for you.
So let's get started. But first, a quick note, if this podcast is helpful to you, please don't forget to like and follow.
John, let's first explain this. Why is thinking in English so important?
Great question, Lily. Think about it. How do you talk in your head right now? Probably in your native language, right?
Exactly. And this is very natural because our brain uses the language it's most comfortable with. But when learning English, we face a big problem.
Yes, we constantly try to translate. For example, when we want to say, I am hungry, we first think, I'm hungry in our language, then translate it to English.
And this translation process takes a lot of time. In natural conversation, this delay becomes very noticeable.
Exactly. But when you start thinking in English, this translation phase disappears. You feel directly in English and speak directly in English.
A Harvard University study supports this. Students who start thinking in English show an average 200 to 300% increase in their speaking speed.
And it's not just speed. Fluency also improves because we no longer need to search for words. Words come naturally.
So, how will we make this transition? This is very important because we need to reprogram our brain.
Yes, and this requires a systematic approach. If you try randomly, it's very difficult. But if you use the right techniques, you can start noticing within 21 to 30 days.
Exactly, John. That's why today we'll give you 7 practical methods. These methods are based on scientific research and tested on thousands of students.
Before we move to our first method, I want to mention something. This process requires patience. Don't expect immediate results, but if you're persistent, you'll definitely succeed.
Great point, John. Now, let's explain our first method.
Our first method is simple but effective. Narrating your daily activities in English in your head.
What does this mean, John? Let's explain a bit.
Sure. For example, when you wake up in the morning, start saying in your head, I'm waking up, I'm getting out of bed, I'm going to the bathroom.
Ah, I understand. So you're doing English narration to yourself throughout the day.
Exactly. I'm brushing my teeth, I'm making coffee, I'm checking my phone. Continue like this.
Why is this technique effective?
Because we keep our brain in English mode constantly. We don't leave room for the native language.
Yes, and since daily activities repeat, we form the same sentences many times. This repetition strengthens the brain's English circuits.
I tried this myself. The first week was very challenging. I kept forgetting. That's normal, Lily. But from the second week onwards, it starts becoming automatic.
Exactly. And after a while, I noticed I wasn't making an effort anymore. I was naturally thinking in English.
An important tip for our listeners: skip words you don't know. Start with simple words.
For example, you can say, I'm cooking. You don't need to say, I'm preparing a sophisticated meal at the beginning.
Exactly. The simpler we keep it, the faster the brain adopts those patterns.
And since there are different activities at different times of the day, your vocabulary naturally expands.
When applying this method, I recommend keeping a diary. Note, what sentences did I form today?
Great suggestion, John. This both provides motivation and helps you track your progress.
Now, let's move to our second method. This is also very interesting.
Our second method goes a bit deeper, developing an English inner voice.
What does this mean, Lily? Inner voice.
We all have a voice in our heads, right? A voice that constantly talks, comments.
Oh, yes. Even right now, I'm thinking to myself, how should I explain this?
That's it. We're going to make this inner voice English.
But how? Because this seems like an unconscious thing.
Initially, it requires conscious effort, John. For example, right now, I might think, I wonder what our listeners are thinking right now.
I understand. So we're deliberately directing our inner voice to English.
Exactly. And we do this several times a day. For example, when you face a problem, think, what should I do?
This seems very difficult, though.
At first, yes, but a Stanford University study shows that after 21 days of regular practice, this becomes automatic.
21 days. That's a reasonable time.
Yes, and the best part is, as this inner voice develops, your external speech automatically improves too.
Makes sense, because what we project outside is what we form inside.
Exactly, John. When I experienced this myself, I was amazed. I suddenly started speaking fluently.
So how can our listeners apply this?
There's a simple exercise. Sit quietly for 10 minutes a day and try to speak only in English in your head.
Like meditation?
A bit like that. But in meditation, we usually try to stop thoughts. Here, we encourage English thoughts.
Interesting difference. And if thoughts come in the native language?
That's normal. Don't force it. Gently redirect to English. Say, okay, now let me think in English, and continue.
This requires patience, I guess.
Yes, but the results are amazing, John. From the third week onwards, you notice you're not forcing anymore. Thinking in English becomes natural.
Great. Now let's move to our third method. I said this is really surprising.
Yes, John, this method is truly creative, coding emojis and visuals in English.
How does this work, Lily?
Think about it. When you see a smiling emoji, what do you think?
Words like smile or happy come to mind.
This is where we intervene. The moment you see that emoji, you start saying happy or smile.
Ah, I understand. So we're labeling visual stimuli in English.
Exactly. This technique comes from neuroscience. When our brain processes visuals, it also activates the language center.
Can you give other examples?
Sure. When you see a dog, say dog, not your native word. When you see a car, car. When you see food, food.
This could be very useful on social media. There are visuals everywhere.
Perfect point, John. On Instagram, Facebook, say an English word for every visual.
Why is this effective?
Because a visual language connection is being established in our brain. Normally, there's a visual native language connection. We're shifting this to English.
I had read research from MIT. It said visual learning is very effective in language acquisition.
Yes, and this technique is passive. You don't need to set aside special time. You can apply it every moment you encounter visuals throughout the day.
I want to try this. For example, right now, I'm looking at my microphone and saying microphone.
Perfect, John. That's how it's done. And after a while, this becomes automatic.
We can apply this to colors, too. When we see blue, blue. When we see red, red.
Absolutely, even for numbers. When you see 5, 5. When you see 10, 10.
If we make this technique like a game while applying it, it becomes more fun.
Great idea, John. You can challenge yourself. How many visuals did I label in English today?
And you can do it with family or friends, too. What do you see in this picture? A beautiful sunset.
Very creative, John. This social element increases motivation.
Now let's move to our fourth method. This is also very practical.
Our fourth method is an integral part of our daily lives: English planning and list making.
This is very smart, John, because we're already planning. We're just changing the language.
Exactly, Lily. For example, write your shopping list as bread, milk, apples, not in your native language.
And make your daily plan in English too. 9 a.m. meeting, 12 p.m. lunch, 3 p.m. exercise.
Why does this technique work? Because planning uses the brain's executive function. This area is also connected to language learning.
And since we're constantly focusing on the future, we naturally learn structures like will and going to.
When I started making my to-do lists in English, I noticed a big difference.
What kind of difference, John?
I started thinking in English while working too. Like, I need to finish this task.
Amazing! This is called the spillover effect. The English you start in one area spreads to other areas.
Practical tip for our listeners: make your phone reminders in English too.
Great suggestion, like call mom, buy groceries, gym session.
And calendar appointments too. Dentist appointment, team meeting, coffee with Sarah.
This method is especially effective for organized people because they're already planning.
Yes, it requires no extra effort, just a language change.
And since it's written, it provides visual reinforcement too. You're both reading and writing.
There's also this, Lily. Set your goals in English too. I want to learn Spanish. I will exercise 3 times a week.
Perfect. Writing goals in English also provides extra motivation. They seem more achievable somehow.
Maybe it creates an international mindset.
Could be, John. You start thinking globally.
Now let's move to our 5th method. This is a bit different.
The 5th method is very interesting. English problem solving.
How does this work, Lily?
When you encounter a problem, you start analyzing it in English. What's the problem? What are my options? What should I do?
Ah, I understand. We're doing critical thinking in English.
Exactly, John. This is very powerful because problem solving requires deep thinking.
And the language we use during deep thinking gets encoded more deeply in our brain.
Exactly. A UCLA study shows that language patterns learned during problem solving become much more permanent.
So how will we apply this?
A simple example, you're stuck in traffic. Normally, you'd say something in your native language about the traffic. But here, I'm stuck in traffic. What are my alternatives? Maybe I should take a different route next time.
Interesting. So we're processing negative situations in English too.
Yes, and this is very important because emotions are involved. You start doing emotional thinking in English.
This could be a breakthrough moment for many people.
Absolutely, John. Because emotions are at a very deep level. When you convert that to English, you experience a big transformation.
Can you give other examples?
Sure. There's a challenge at work. This is challenging. Let me think step by step. First, I need to understand this situation. Then I should consider different approaches.
This is actually teaching methodology too.
Exactly. You're also developing your problem-solving skills at the same time.
I think this can also be applied in relationships.
Absolutely, John. Why is my friend upset? How can I help? What should I say?
This is also developing empathy in English.
Great point. You're also building your social intelligence in English.
This method seems a bit challenging, but very rewarding.
Yes, it requires effort at the beginning, but after 2-3 weeks, it becomes natural.
And the results can be dramatic.
Definitely, because you're doing your decision-making process in English. This is a fundamental change.
Now let's move to our 6th method. This is also very creative. Our 6th method is very creative. English imagination and storytelling.
What does this mean, John? Let's explain a bit.
Well, Lily, we all daydream during the day, right? We plan the future, create scenarios.
Yes, this is a very natural mental process.
We're going to start creating these dreams in English. If I win the lottery, I will travel around the world. I will visit Japan first, then maybe Europe.
Wow, this is very interesting because when we daydream, we become relaxed and creativity opens up.
Exactly. And there's a storytelling aspect too. You're telling yourself stories in English.
This is very powerful because we're doing narrative thinking. This is the brain's very natural way.
Yes, Lily, and emotions are also involved. You're creating exciting scenarios in English.
I tried this myself. For example, what if I meet my favorite celebrity? I would say, "Hi, I'm a big fan of your work. Could we take a photo together?"
Perfect example. And you're actually practicing these kinds of scenarios.
True, you're unconsciously rehearsing for real-life situations.
This technique can be very effective, especially for creative people.
Definitely, and amazing for children too, because they're already constantly imagining.
Very liberating for adults, too, because we're using our playful side.
And there's no pressure. Nobody's judging. Free flow of thoughts.
So how will we apply this?
Simple. When you daydream during the day, try to do it in English. I'm imagining myself giving a great presentation at work. Everyone is impressed. My boss says, "Great job."
And imagine future plans in English, too. Next summer, I want to go hiking. I'll wake up early, pack my backpack, and hit the trail.
This method is also relaxing because there's no stress. It's an enjoyable way to practice.
And it boosts creativity, because you're using new combinations of words.
Plus, it creates positive emotions. Imagining is already a pleasant activity.
This emotional connection is very important in language learning.
Absolutely, John. Positive emotions strengthen memory consolidation.
Before we move to our last method, let me say this. If you combine these 6 methods, you can get incredible results.
Great point. There's a synergy effect. But let's talk about our final method. This is also very unique.
Our final method is very powerful: English, self-talk, and motivation.
This is a fascinating topic, Lily. Let's first explain what self-talk is.
Self-talk is talking to yourself, like, "Come on, you can do this," or "I'm so tired," that kind of inner dialogue.
And this happens constantly. Research shows we think 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day.
Imagine if we could make even 10% of those thoughts in English.
That would be amazing. So how will we do it?
Start with motivation sentences. When you're struggling, say, "I can do this," instead of saying it in your native language.
This is psychologically very interesting because you're doing motivation in English.
Exactly. And motivational sentences are usually short and powerful. "You got this. Keep going. Almost there."
This actually comes from athletic performance. Athletes constantly use self-talk.
Good connection, John. And sports psychology studies show that positive self-talk increases performance by 15 to 20%.
So, how will we apply this in language learning?
Different phrases for different situations. When tired, "I need some rest." When happy, "I'm feeling great today." When frustrated, "This is challenging, but I'll figure it out."
This is also developing emotional vocabulary.
Exactly. And you start expressing your emotional states in English.
I tried this in my morning routine. Good morning. Today is going to be a great day.
Perfect example, John. Doing morning affirmations in English starts the day in English.
And in the evening, too. I did well today. Tomorrow I'll do even better.
This creates positive associations with English. Language becomes a tool for self-empowerment.
This psychological shift is very important. English is no longer just an academic subject. It becomes a personal growth tool.
Absolutely. And it plays a huge role in confidence building.
So, how will we start?
Start small. Begin with daily affirmations. "I'm getting better every day. I believe in myself. I can learn anything."
And in challenging moments, "This is tough, but I'm tougher. Every mistake is a learning opportunity."
And celebrate successes in English. "I did it. I'm proud of myself. That was awesome."
Celebrating successes in English is really powerful.
Yes, because you're associating positive emotions with the English language.
If you use these 7 methods in combination, transformation becomes inevitable.
I agree, John, but consistency is key. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Let's summarize these 7 methods, Lily.
Great idea. First, narrating daily activities in English.
Second, developing an inner voice in English.
Third, labeling visuals and emojis in English.
Fourth, doing planning and list making in English.
5th, approaching problem-solving in English.
6th, doing daydreaming and storytelling in English.
And finally, doing self-talk and motivation in English.
The beauty of these methods is this: they don't require extra time. You're changing the language of existing activities.
Exactly, John. It's about reprogramming your mental operating system.
And it's a gradual process. Don't rush. Start with one method, add the next when you become comfortable.
Perfect advice. And remember, mistakes are normal, progress, not perfection.
Have a support system in this journey: friends, family, or online communities.
And track your progress. Keep a journal. Today, I thought in English for X minutes.
Celebration is also important. Acknowledge small wins.
Because every step forward is an achievement worth celebrating.
Finally, let me say this: this process can be life-changing. Be patient with yourself.
Thinking in English isn't just a language skill. It's a new way of seeing the world.
It opens up new possibilities, new perspectives, new connections.
So start today. Pick one method and implement it. Small step, big difference.
And share your journey with us. Write your experiences in the comments.
We love hearing success stories. And if you ask questions, we'll answer them.
Thank you for listening to Active English Lad. If this episode was helpful, share it with your friends.
And don't forget to subscribe for more practical English learning tips.
Until next time, keep thinking in English.
See you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Take care, everyone.